You know, usually when we rely on a GPS, there's this like expectation of absolute precision.
Right, totally. You want that crisp blue line.
Exactly. You type in a destination and you just blindly follow it. Turn right, go straight, you arrive. But then,
And the second that screen goes blank, especially in, the middle of a dark forest with no signal, panic sets in.
yeah,
We're just wired to crave that certainty.
we really are. But, well, what if the blank screen is actually the right path? Welcome to your custom deep dive. Today we're taking the specific source material you sent us, which is this reflective text titled Talking About Jesus.
Yeah, and we're unpacking its profound psychological and spiritual framework for handling life's unpredictable twists, closed doors, and those moments of really deep doubt.
Right. And just to be clear right up front, we are looking at this material neutrally.
Exactly. We aren't here to endorse a specific theology. We're just exploring the text's really fascinating philosophy on resilience, surrender, and perspective.
So the core premise your source presents is that those blank screen moments, those confusing or painful circumstances, they aren't actually glitches at all.
Right. There is a hidden purpose.
Yeah.
The text asks you to walk by faith and not by sight.
Which basically suggests that what feels like a devastating loss right now might be a hidden blessing. And, it reminds me of a woven tapestry.
Oh, I love that analogy. How so?
Well, if you flip a beautifully woven tapestry over and look at the back, it is chaotic. I mean, it's just a mess of jagged threads and knots and loose ends.
Right. It looks awful from that side.
Exactly. If that is your only vantage point, you assume it's a total disaster. You have to somehow just trust that on the other side, there's a purposeful design.
Yeah, and that metaphor actually perfectly illustrates a beautiful poetic distinction the text makes. It talks about the difference between trying to trace the hand and learning to trust the heart.
Trace the hand. What does that mean exactly?
So tracing the hand is trying to make logical sense of those messy knots you mentioned. The specific, painful events right in front of you.
Right, the things we can actually see happening.
Exactly. The text argues that when you cannot trace the hand, when the events don't make any sense, you must trust the heart.
Meaning the unchanging care or love of the Creator.
You got it. But, it requires a deliberate cognitive shift.
Right, because when you are in distress and staring at those ugly knots, it is incredibly hard to just look away and, trust the heart.
It is. You have to purposefully stop demanding immediate explanations for the bad data points. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? The framework asks you to consider, what is this building in me?
Oh, wow. What is this building in me? That's a huge shift.
Yeah, it is a psychological mechanism for finding stability by zooming out from the immediate crisis.
But that zooming out doesn't just apply to crises, though. The text actually takes it a step further by asking for a steady heart that handles sorrow and joy with humility.
Right. It specifically warns against pride and self-reliance when life is full of light and your plans are succeeding.
Wait, let me stop you right there. Because if I work hard, execute my plan perfectly and get the win, I'm going to feel proud. I'm going to feel self-reliant.
Sure, yeah, that is just basic human nature.
Right. So why is the text treating success like a hazard?
Well, because if you build your foundation solely on your own ability to control outcomes during the good times, that foundation will immediately shatter the second a door unexpectedly closes.
Oh, I see. So it's about what happens when your control inevitably fails.
Exactly. The text's solution to our fragile human nature is to view all of life, both the wins and the losses, through what it calls the lens of eternity.
Okay, but if I try to apply this eternal lens on a random Tuesday when, say, my car breaks down or a major project falls apart, how does that actually change my reality in that moment?
Because it completely flips our standard human definitions by fundamentally changing the timeline. Think about it.
Okay.
If your timeline stretches into eternity, a frustrating delay isn't a missed deadline anymore.
Then what is it?
It is the time required to build the endurance you will need for whatever comes next, which makes the delay an act of mercy.
Wow, an act of mercy. That's a radical way to look at a broken down car.
Right. And a heavy burden isn't a punishment. It is weight training for greater glory. Even perceived silence, when you feel completely abandoned, shifts from being a rejection to an invitation.
An invitation to draw closer and listen harder.
Exactly. By stretching the timeline, those immediate setbacks really lose their sting.
I mean, that reframes the entire goal of life, really. According to your source, the ultimate objective isn't to successfully engineer a reality where you get everything you want.
No, not at all. It is to achieve a quiet confidence by surrendering your personal expectations.
It's learning to say, well, this too is good, even when it hurts.
Right. It is by finding profound gratitude for the things we fundamentally do not understand, trusting that design on the front of the tapestry.
Which brings us right back to our GPS. The blank screen isn't a glitch. It's actually part of the route. So here is a final thought for you to ponder today. This text challenges us to find gratitude for the unknown.
It really does.
If you were to adopt this lens of eternity right now, how might it completely transform your reaction to the most frustrating obstacle you are facing today?